Hello everybody and welcome to #Friday Sews. My name's Carole, this is my channel Sew Carole, and you're joining me on this wonderful hashtag that was created by Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room, who has the ultimate in sewing channel. She created this hashtag to get all of us YouTubers together in one place, so you can find us all just by tapping #Friday Sews into the YouTube search bar, and up we all pop. Now what we do is we talk about what we've been sewing, very often what we've been buying, and also just a tiny little bit about life. So what have I been up to this week? Before I go any further, it's a very boring top, but just in case anybody wanted to know, it's the sleeveless sort of t-shirt from this very good pattern, Simplicity 9272. Now Jen actually introduced me to this pattern because it's got a wonderful cardigan there, and then you've got this nice t-shirt, and I haven't made the pair of trousers. I'm told they're quite wide-legged, but a super pattern to have. So yeah, this was just made in a cotton jersey a few months ago now, I think, but yeah, I thought I'd tell you. I've had a good sewing week. I've made some pajamas. I'm just going to say it right out there that I've made some pajamas because I know a lot of you laugh at me. I will say in my defence, I have made about 4 pairs of pajamas for my daughter Katie this year. So they're not all for me. It always seems like I'm sewing pajamas, but that's because I'm covering 2 people, and both of us love to change pajamas really often. We just love a little nice fresh pair of pajamas to go to bed with. So that's why we have so many. Anyway, so the pair I made, I used the fabric, the jersey fabric I had from my subscription box from my sewing box locally in Dorset. 2 beautiful fabrics came. I had one floral and one peachy pink. So this was the floral, if you remember, and one pinky. Now a lot of you said how lovely this would be, but I will say for pajamas it's fine for me, but these colours are not my colour to kind of wear out as a dress or anything, hence I made pajamas. So I mixed and matched a bit. I've got this New Look pattern 6859 I've used loads of times for the shorts. I literally used it for the shape of the shorts. I didn't do rounded up and bound edges on there. I have done that once, but to be honest, it's not going to really matter. So they just come out a really good shape on me. So these are the shorts, which I'm really pleased of. They're nice sort of shaping. They don't sort of creep up and divide you in half in the middle of the night, as I'm sure you know what I mean. So yeah, so they made a really pretty pair. And for the top, I wanted to do a bit of colour blocking. So I had this pattern that I've used for my husband a lot. It does say his and hers. So that's New Look 6404. And I did this version. Now, let me just refer to my notes because I think I took 4 inches off the length of the sleeves because they were so long. And I took 2 inches off the waist because even though I made extra small, it's huge because it's designed to be an extra small man as well as an extra small woman. So I'll show you the back first. So this is what the back looked like. So I put the colour blocking on the main colour, and then I did the sleeves, the pretty flowered. This was the front before I started. That's what it looked like. I thought that looks plain. That needs something in the middle. It just didn't look right. So got my embroidery machine out and did just a little quick applique, and I really like that because I think it's really sort of, you know, pulled it all together, as I would say. And I know it's a very simple applique, but yeah, I really enjoyed doing that again because it's been a long time ago since I'd done that. So I got quite a nice pair of pajamas, and they will be going with me on my holidays. I got the pair of linen trousers back from my daughter. I only got them back yesterday. That was the New Look 6517, where I add a tie belt. I have to say, I haven't hemmed them. I've done the waist, and she only told me yesterday what length she wants them. So these are them. They look really super, don't they, in this pink, I have to say. And I haven't hemmed them yet, so I'm taking my time. So I will do that this week. That won't take me very long at all. It just means rethreading my machine with pink again, doesn't it? But yeah, it needs to be brought up. They more or less touch her ankles, and these are meant to be the cropped. She's 5'4", so she's taller than me, but it needs to come up at least that much. But they do make, when I finish them, I will get her to model them for you, but I think they look a really cool pair of trousers. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, Michelle from Michelle Sews Again. Hi, Michelle. Yep, she encouraged me to buy something. She put a little announcement on her channel that Stylark patterns were on sale on Amazon. I've never tried Stylark. You know me, I'm a big fool, but you know, I'll try things every now and again. So I thought, okay, I'll have a look, and I ordered some patterns. Now, I showed you 2 I got last week, and this is the 3rd that came this week, and this was the one that I was kind of really waiting for. It's the sunny top, and here it is. I have to say, this is probably one of the nicest tops I've ever made. I would say it's about 70% due to the fabric. This was a beautiful kind of tie-dye, super soft French terry that I bought from Joann's in Florida when I was there in March. It's absolutely gorgeous. If they still have any of this, get your hands on it, because it's so lightweight, so super soft. I've been hanging on to it because I've been looking for a sort of suitable sweatshirt, kind of summer jumper type pattern. And this Stylark Sunny fitted the bill for me, and I am so pleased with it. It's a strange cocoon shape, which my husband was a bit kind of not sure about that, but I really like it. It's got the drop shoulders, and then it's got quite tight sleeves, which is, I think, a really nice, and kind of, because it's such a cozy fabric, it's wonderful. So it's got that. It's got this seam along the front, and the back is kind of divided into 3. Now, I'm not 100% sure I'm keen on what I've done, but it's done now. But what I did was, after I'd done the seam, I cover stitched the edges. I'll take it off in a minute and I'll bring it and you can see it a bit closer. Kind of to make the seam at the bottom, because it's got like a kind of skirt around the bottom, to make it a feature. So that's why I did it. I didn't do it anywhere else. Before I take it off, I forgot to tell you that I actually had to downsize quite a bit, because I looked at the finished garment measurements on the pattern, and they were enormous. Now, I know that's down to the shape of the top, as you can see. But I actually made a 6, whereas I normally would make a 10. I would make a 10 really. I also, because it was going to be quite long and I'm only 5'2"-ish, I took an inch off the top and an inch off the bottom. It did mean, because of the shape, I kind of had to sort of twiddle around with just the angle where the 2 would meet. But yeah, so I've taken an inch off the top and bottom, left the sleeves as they are. But yeah, I ended up making a small size 6. Honestly, it's so super soft. I just want to wear it all the time. So yeah, so I did the seam as normal, and then I just cover stitched the opposite way round, if you see what I mean. So that's the back of the cover, like you'd have on a sweatshirt. So I did that, and oh my goodness, I'm in love with it. I was so excited about it. I sent Michelle a picture straight away and said, I'm really happy that you have encouraged me to buy these patterns. I haven't tried the other 2 yet. I'm looking forward to doing those, but this was one thing I kind of wanted in my wardrobe for holiday, just kind of really lightweight jumper. So I hope you agree that it's a very pretty little item. Now, I'm going to put some footage in now of me after my Dorset button course I did on Wednesday night. And a warning here, I was on a crafting high when I filmed this. I was so excited. I had to get filming, get telling you, and you can tell. So I've just come back from my Dorset button workshop and I am buzzing. So I have to tell you, get it off my chest, because I've told Chris and he was a bit, yeah. But I know you'd appreciate it. It was such good fun. Much easier to do than I thought. It was fiddly, but it was quite meditative and kind of slowed you down, and it was really enjoyable. So we used these rings, they're 19mm rings, and some kind of mercerized sort of variegated colour thread. As you can see, it's kind of twisted, bit thicker than embroidery thread, and smoother. And there were 4 processes to making the Dorset buttons. He was a wonderful teacher. He was a local vicar that just really got into it, all this history. I live in East Dorset, and it is East Dorset is where they originated. Certainly the one we deal today, which was the cartwheel button. Apparently back in the, they started about 1620, I think they date back to. But there were about 16,000 people in the local area employed making these buttons. Some of them were absolutely minute, and I'm talking this size. So we brought some example of these early buttons, and honestly they were so tiny you could barely see the threads. They would have been done with linen, just a thread of linen, and he sort of showed us some of that as well. He also showed us some of the buttons that he's made. You could tell he absolutely loved doing it, and it was amazing because he's keeping this craft alive. So there you have the ring, you have the thread. There are 4 processes to do. If I just show you quickly so you can get an idea. You've got the first one, which is casting, and that's literally doing a blanket stitch, kind of all buttonhole stitch all the way around. You then had the laying. No, you didn't. You had the slicking. That's kind of when you moved all the knots to the back. You have the laying, where you start doing the spokes of almost like a bicycle wheel, and then the rounding, where you sort of fill in the middle bit. So do you want to see mine? I'm quite pleased. Here she is. It was just amazing to do. So it's even got a little shank on the back if I wanted to sew it onto a garment. Now bear in mind, this is the first one I've ever made. I am quite pleased with that. He gave us all one that he'd made, so that's his. So I have to say, I didn't do too bad a job. I could have filled it in more, but yeah, it was absolutely fascinating. We did the cartwheel. There are so many different designs. One of my lovely viewers, actually, I can't remember your name, I'm so sorry, and you probably don't want your name mentioned anyway, but she learnt to do Dorset buttons when she was in India by a lady that lives up north of the country, that specialises them, and she's got an amazing website. All different designs. You can put them beads on them, you can do sort of flowers, there's the tree of life one. It's just incredible. So he's given us all these different websites to go and have a look sort of for more designs, but we got the basic, this one, and you can do a similar one but just play around with different things in the middle. I really enjoyed it. I started on a second one while I was there, so that's the bit around the outside doing the blanket stitch. It was just such a lovely thing to sit and do. Really enjoyed it. I've decided I'm going to get some rings. I think I've got some of this thread anyway, and it's something that I'm going to sit and do on my long haul flight to Canada at the end of the month, because that will make time go past so quickly. And I love working with my hands, and it's not really sewing, it's just different. I absolutely loved it. So I have to get this off my chest, even though it's quite late in the evening. I was just excited about it. Yeah, I really enjoyed that course. This was the one I then sat and did, just watching the television. Straight after I'd filmed that, I did another one of these lovely little buttons. I've got to do more. I absolutely loved it. I ordered some fattens. I ordered some fabric this week from Echo Bee. Now, Echo Bee Fabrics is a fabric store in Ireland, and I kind of heard about it through the lovely Agatha from Agatha's Cottage. I don't quite know what I was thinking. There's a couple of pieces here that are kind of secrety, but I don't think anyone will watch this video anyway, so from my family, so I'll be all right. This is the piece though that I don't quite know why I bought it at the time. I thought it would make kind of an autumny top. I bought orange. I must admit, I thought it would be more rusty colour, but it's orange. I don't know what I don't know. I mean, I've got it now, and you know, I might make something up with it, sort of a long sleeve top for autumn. And maybe if I had a rust coloured cardigan over it, it'd be okay. Or I could just keep it for lovely baby Chloe. Although I don't know how they'd feel about orange. Well, it's different. It's not blue. Now this is in your face, but we are all planning a trip to Disneyland Paris around Christmas time, because that's when Charlie, my youngest grandson, will be 3. So we're going for his birthday. So I managed to get hold of a load of French terry. Disney. Yeah, so it's a nice lightweight French terry, and hopefully I can make a couple of sweatshirts, little sweatshirts for the boys out of that. Yeah, that's going to be good. Cool. I've got to make sure their favourite characters are in the right place on that one. And this is a piece of fabric that I saw, and instantly I thought, I know my daughter will absolutely love it for pajamas for Christmas. But look at this. This is so cute, isn't it? Winnie the Pooh Piglet. Both Katie and I share an absolute love of the character Piglet. And it's kind of a creamy, sort of peachy creamy, but that's going to make some super pajamas for her, and she'll be thrilled with that. If there's some left over, I'm going to make some for me too. Now with Ecobee fabrics, I had something extra in my bag, and I had this jersey panel. Isn't that amazing? It said load of fun, build it up. Now one of the boys will love this, but I didn't order it and I was really worried, so I actually emailed them, and no, it was a gift. They've been giving out some jersey panels with their deliveries this month or the last couple of weeks. I was just astounded. I said, that is so generous. I've never used a jersey panel, and that's going to be perfect for one of the boys. So I'm going to see if I've got any kind of matching jersey, and I'm not sure which one to use it for, the youngest one or Ollie. Not sure yet, maybe the youngest one. But yeah, that was a super surprise, isn't it? Not a chocolate bar, but a really useful piece of jersey. Next week, fingers crossed, if all goes to plan, I will be having a meeting up with Katinka from Seamstress at the Cottage. Now, I'm sure you all follow this lady, and I certainly have done long before I started my channel. She is a fabulous dressmaker who used to live in South Africa, and I used to follow her all the time. She does amazing knitting, you know, sewing. She's got a business, you know, but she's been staying in the UK the last few months, staying her sister, I think, in either Norfolk or Suffolk, and she's actually on her way through Dorset to see some relatives down south. So she's meeting up with a few other YouTubers. I think Adam from Adam Sews is meeting her, but she's coming very close to my town, so I think she's going to pop in on her way next Tuesday, and I am thrilled to meet her in person. It's going to be an incredible experience, because I'm just in awe of her. She has that kind of calming aura. She loves life. She loves the outdoors like myself. So not sure what we'll do. The weather forecast is dreadful, as it is all the time. So but she loves rain, so she'll be fine. So I'm really looking forward to Katinka. If you're watching this, I am thrilled. But I will be sewing, tidying my sewing room for you, because obviously I want to give a good impression. I've got a couple of items I'd like to sew up, but this is a bit sad really, but I've got a funeral to go to in about 10 days time, and I want to make a dress. I haven't really got anything suitable. It's not really a kind of all black funeral. If it was winter time, then I've got lots of black trousers and things like that, but I didn't really have anything suitable. So I ordered some fabric. It's some John Caldor viscose challis. I got it from Minerva because I can get it quickly. It's lighter than I expected though. It's, as I said though, it isn't an all black funeral, but yeah, it is darker than it's showing up on camera. But that's a kind of a really nice sort of floaty dress. And I thought, I went through all my patterns and I think I'm going to try and make this one, Simplicity 9041. I'll probably do a version with sleeves, maybe not as long sleeves as that. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm going to see how that whole piece goes before I decide about the sleeves. I've never made this pattern. If you have made this pattern, let me know how it goes. It looks very simple to get put together. It's just choosing the right sizing, isn't it? That's the main thing. But I think it'll look quite pretty, and that's what I would like it to do, really. So yeah, I've got to get that done, but you know, tinge of sadness about it. The other thing I would really like to do is I got this navy and white jersey from Hobbycraft a couple of weeks ago, and I've had this pattern for forever, and I would like to have a go at making this V-necked mid-length sleeve top. Now I don't often wear V-necks, but I think it would be quite a nice little piece to have on holiday. I've always admired the view there. I have actually made the trousers, but I've never made the top, and I've never made the jacket because I've got no need in my life for jackets. But yeah, dress first, top importance, but then I would like to have a go at making this, and hopefully it's a quick make, this one anyway. But I think that looked quite nice. Last week we went over to see my son and his wife and obviously visit baby Chloe. We will be doing the same again this weekend. And the reason we're doing it's kind of 3 weekends on the trot is because after this weekend we're not going to have a chance to see her for another month at least, probably about 6 weeks. And she will have changed dramatically next time we see her. So we're going again for some more cuddles and things like that, see how they're getting on. They are doing really well. My son's going back to work next week. He's had 2 weeks at home, but he works from home. So that makes things so much easier these days. I know when I had my two, my husband went, I think he had a week off, then went straight back to work, and I mean back to work. He was out in the house all day, and that is quite a challenge. So times have moved on, haven't they? So my photos at the end are a kind of a mishmash of a few things actually. I'll put all my Dorset button photos in, buttons that he'd actually made, and also the process. I took some pictures as I was making it, and I should put those in at the end. We went to the beach yesterday and I took a marvellous photo of my oldest grandson jumping in the air by the beach. I'll have to put that in, and I may sneak some other beach photos in as well. So thank you so much for joining me again. Oh my goodness, I'm amazed by the response I got to my video about being an old school sewist. Wow, there are so many of you out there like me, still doing the old things. And if you're not, that's fine, because as I've said many times, at the end of the day, it's the result at the end that matters. And however many methods you use, it all seems to work out in the end, and it doesn't change the end result anyway. It's just how you like to work and what's easiest for you. But thank you for the response for that. I just loved it. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and get to sew if you want to sew or do any crafting. I hope you join me on Monday for the release of my Lutterloh collaboration I did with Chris from Sew Notes. I know, obviously I know what I've made, but I can't wait to see what she made in the end. So that will be out on Monday. Thank you for joining me again, and goodbye for now.